Good evening, everyone. How many of you think that you have completed the assignments? So you can just say yes or you can say no. If
No.
Okay, all right. Thank you for being honest. And let's get started. Even though you have not completed your assignment, how we are going to get started? We are going to get started to realize and remember that we have joined this session with one core reason. And what is that core reason? Can someone tell?
Yes. To get yourself placed at a job.
Excellent. The one core reason is to get placed somewhere in the corporate of America in IT sector, right? And basically, we are looking to get placed as a business analyst or Scrum Master. So, if that is the goal, so it is quite easy in the process of completing the first pillar, that is instructor led free training. It is quite easy to forget the purpose and to make that purpose protected. We have something which we call it as what? Can someone, does someone
Code of
remember?
honor?
Code
Code of
of
honor?
honor. Excellent. Yes, that's the code of honor. Thank you so much for remembering this. And that code of honor requires to be revised. Okay. So what we are going to do is that we are going to revise our code of honor, because this is the something which requires to be remembered. We requires to always remind ourselves that we are for what purpose over here, and this code of honor, let not forget that. So I'm going to share my screen. Recording has been hit. So, and I am going to get started. Prerna, just for your information, Nirupma has not joined yet, uh, but I have started. All right.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So here is the code of honor. The very first point is that showing up live that you have done. So kudos to you. And by showing up live, three things happens over here. You be on the time, you become punctual, and you practice to become highly committed, and you repeat that. When you repeat that, you are ready to recreate that even when you get placed. So it is called as, with it is aligned with one universal law which is said as, how you do anything is how you do everything. So this is the one. Second one is called as being the full stack student. So when you start with the very first pillar of Guru School, that is instructor led training program, I know that many of you are great graduate, well educated, and still you have loaded with lot of knowledge. But once again, this is the opportunity to learn something new. And when you are learning something new, how you are going to learn that? Just by being the full stack student. And what does a full stack student do? They do all the assignments, they do self research for what they are doing the assignment, and they repeat what they learn. Why this is very vital element? Because this is the exactly the very thing you are going to practice even when you get placed, because after getting placed as well, you will require uh, to have an urge to learn something, and this could be the request from the industry. Even where you get placed, it could be any point, anything, any concept, any theory, any knowledge, or any tool. The company might ask you that, hey, you need to be ready, because even company has got their client where they would like to like you to work with. Okay, so that's why we need to get very much prepared with this, being the full stack student. And that's the opportunity we are getting through the very first pillar of the Guru Schools. And third one is taking the full responsibility. It's quite easy to talk and boast about ourselves, taking the credit of what great stuff we have done. If we have done the assignment, we have done every single thing that has been asked, and when we attract the success, we really celebrate that. But what happens when we don't do that? What do we attract? We attract failure. But we easily, and it is really easy and it is really smooth, to take the credit of success, but we don't try to wear the failure. And the moment we take the responsibility of failure as well, one thing we do, and what is that? We take the corrective action, thereby once again that becomes the trail to the success. So it is very vital to understand where things are going correct or incorrect, so that we can have the corrective answer, so that ultimately things will move towards this success only, and our purpose is going to get fulfilled. So always remember to take the responsibility completely, that is success as well as failure, because success is the trail of failure. The fourth one is that be ready and come over here with four different mindset. And although it is mindset of one, that is to have learning mindset, positive mindset, going complete and free in your life if possible, and load yourself with the gratitude. And how you are going to start this? By increasing your receptivity towards it. And one thing that makes you stronger towards it is the strangest secret. For that, I have given you the audio requesting to complete that and repeat that for next 30 days. I personally do that every single day. How it is going to help you? So this is going to help you to understand for what purpose, what is the purpose beyond the purpose. To get placed is the one purpose, but with what purpose we should get placed. So it reminds you about that and makes your purpose super duper stronger. And the moment that becomes super duper stronger, you remember your one core purpose, that is to get placed, and that to start with the very first pillar, which starts with instructor led learning. And when you have to do the learning, always remember this golden quadrant of learning, which is called as what? Declare, then learn, then draw, then summarize. Okay, so this becomes the very easy and long term memory retention idea, that the moment you are getting into learning, start with a declaration. So are we ready for declaration? A very quick and small declaration. Yes. So what we are
Yes.
going to do, we are going to put this declaration along with the anchor. At the count of three, we are going to give a self high five, that is a clap, and then we'll repeat the selected statement. So 1, 2, 3, and go, and repeat along with me. I am a quick learner,
I am a
I'm a
quick
quick
learner.
learner. What others can
What
learn,
can
others
learn
master
and
can learn
master,
can
and
I
do
master,
too
with
I
can
too
do
act.
can
that.
do that.
Once again, we are going to give the anchor of self clap and repeat along with me. 1, 2, 3, and yes, because I am an awesome
Because I'm an
Because
learner,
I am
awesome
an
learner,
awesome
today's
learner,
learning is going
today's
today's
to be
learning
learning
is
is
going
going
to
to
be
be
easy to me.
super
super duper
duper
easy to
easy
me.
to me. Yes, it is going to be. And be the giver on this game of learning. Give your ego away, that makes you more spiritually grounded. And when you are completing your learning and be ready to start working and start earning, if you are not earning today anything, start earning with the intent to have intent to start doing the charity. Because why? Because when we are starting with the intent of earning, and when start be giving away, so this, there is another universal law which says that when you give you grow, when you receive mere you survive. We all don't want to just survive, definitely we want to grow. So once we start giving away, we will see the magic of receiving in abundant mode, multiple fold. And don't just start giving away with the intent of receiving, but start giving away with the intent of inspiring others. And when you are doing that, appreciate what you do and what others do for you. And even something does not happen in the process, because every single step is the preparation for the next step. And why? Because what we appreciate appreciates you. So what you appreciate appreciates you. So ultimately, I did not share the screen. So yeah, let me share the screen with you. So this is what it is. So yeah, now what I'm going to do is that reshare my screen again, so that we can get started with what we can get started with the slide. Let me see if that is open. Okay, it is not open, it is opening up. So Give me a second. By the way, do you have any question of the code of honor? Because we repeat that every single time, and this is to make a very strong dendrite connection for doing what we do and why we do. So any question around this code of honor? I know that we never ask that, but this is the um, moment we can definitely utilize for asking about it. Otherwise we will get straight away into the learning of the new concept today. So last time, who remember what we have learned? If you don't have any question, please
So
remind
I have
me.
a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So how will keep you spiritually grounded on the path of growth?
Hmm. Yeah.
How?
So I asked you to give your ego away. So when you are someone who has been well trained in the past, you might be coming over here, hey, I know very much. Okay. And the moment we start giving you something, you won't go into the receptivity mode. Okay. And because there, what is blocking the learning process? Only the ego that I know everything. Okay. With this attitude, you discard any new learning which is coming on your way. Okay. Because there is pre-assumption, prejudices are also there. So the moment you would say and surrender towards the learning that I'm really ready to learn even at this age, any new thing, I welcome that. The moment that wall of the ego drops down and you start welcoming the new in your life, and this is the kind of ego which prevents you to learn something new. Okay. And the moment the wall of the ego drops down, that start making you spiritually grounded. Spiritually grounded does not mean something which is related to religion, or your happiness level increases up. Okay. And when your happiness level increases up, that time you start welcoming anything new. And the moment ego is there, you resist that, and you discard the things coming in your way. So spiritually grounded means your happiness is the yardstick for that. Is it
Oh,
clear now?
yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, you're welcome. So last time what we were looking at the sprint planning stuff, how sprint backlog is the set of the requirements. We choose the priority, and a quick input for Benson as well as others. Everyone has done the great job the way you have put your effort while summarizing what you had learned. We have to be very much careful what we are telling. Okay. So something which is not the part, we should try to avoid that. Okay. If we are not confident that this is what exactly it is. So I had noticed a very slight thing. I At this point of time I don't remember, but that Benson could have avoided. When Suchana, you were very smart. You took the very small topic, you continued that you completed that. I think for product owner, you were telling something, one point. Yeah, managing the investment or something I heard. Okay.
you.
So that part you could have avoided, because we have not yet said that he manages the investment part, because investment comes from the sponsor directly. Client and sponsor, they speak about it, and product owner has this information. Product owner takes the responsibility of communicating the progress. That was the brilliant thing you have spoken. Okay. so
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 he doesn't manage the investment part.
he has the information, but he does not directly manage the client's investment. Yeah. Who does investment over here? It's completely client investment, right? So
Yeah.
he keeps the information, he continues the growth accordingly. He is aware of the budget and all. He will only take care of the his own budgetary part. Okay. At his end, at his company's end. Okay. Because for the client, he will be performing as vendor. Okay.
I
So
have another question.
yes.
Uh, so during that sprint planning, so
Mhm.
what is the role of business analyst here?
Hmm. Very great question. So what exactly happened? When sprint planning happens, understand these things. Can you see the pile of the requirements?
Yes.
and this is in the form of what? Ticket. Do you agree with this?
Yes.
It also appears sometimes like a sticky note. Okay, so these are the set of requirements, and understand these requirement does not come exactly like this, but to maintain that and to plan that, and very great question by the way, we have some different tools. Like this is a tool, using that, and what is that tool? Using that we are learning something. So what all tools are involved over here in this learning? Can you tell me?
Zoom.
Zoom, what else?
Zoom and
Presentation, PowerPoint.
PowerPoint presentation.
Excellent. Yes, PowerPoint presentation. So we have some tools to present something, right? And other gadgets, okay, through which the communication is happening. So in the similar manner, to present even these requirements, we have some tools. To name a few, one is called a very famous tool in the project management industry and ticket management industry and even defect management industry, requirement management industry, is known as Atlassian project. A product like this is the Microsoft product. In the similar manner, Atlassian product, which is called as what? Jira. Okay, where whatever requirement comes in, that is written as ticket, and everything is called as ticket. Let me do one thing. Let me try to open something, the similar Jira in front of you, so that you will have the basic idea how does it look like. Okay, so when you will have the basic idea that how does it look like, you can visualize that how it is also quoted. So give me a second, let me open that tool for you.
Okay.
So
So
today,
is,
haha,
sorry,
yeah.
what stage business analyst will come into the scenario, like before testing or after testing?
Even before testing and after testing as well. So before testing, business analyst is responsible for writing the requirement. Okay, so initially what happens, say for example, the requirement comes in from the customer itself to the company. All right, so when the this requirement comes in, what exactly happens? This business analyst who goes into the meeting and pre-planning meeting and all, he takes the input, he start drafting those requirement. Okay, so the bigger goal is broken down further in the small requirement, and who writes that? So whose responsibility is that? So it is business analyst requirement to capture those requirement into the tickets. Okay, so it is the business analyst who has to capture the requirement. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah, so what product owner is going to do? So product owner simply facilitates the initial kickoff meeting. Okay, where customer and vendor, they come into the picture, they discuss the requirement, and on high level, say for example, you are the product owner. Whose question was this, Archita or Sushana?
Suchna.
Suchana. So it's Suchana's question, and Suchana is understand as a vendor. I am the client. I come to Suchana, and what I do. So I tell her, hey Suchana, I want to create one small banking application. Okay, so it is a very vast banking application, but what I want you to start with developing withdrawal functionality. I always give you the similar kind of example every single time. So I approach you asking you to develop one small application for me, and what that brings, just give me a second. uh, I'm trying to open the Jira for you, and for that incorrect email address. Okay, just give me a second. I'll come into the flow once again. I'm just opening the Jira for you. Okay, for now. So I am entering the credential to open that up. Somehow there is problem we are recently made. Okay, remember what I was telling you? Yeah. So let me open this Jira for you. So I was telling you business or analyst importance over here before sprint planning meeting. And here I think Jira has opened up and it will give you the email. It will send me email. Yeah, yeah. Excellent. Jira is open. So what I'm going to do is that I had paused the screen share, and I'll continue to do that. Okay. So this time, this moment, what I'm going to do after answering your question, I'm going to pause the recording and show you something as in Jira. Because right now I'm working with a project, and that I don't want you to share with you all. So because due to confidentiality purpose, I'm not going to share the recording and bring it into the recording, but yeah, definitely I'll share you and then resume my recording from there. So yes, so I was answering every single requirement. So it's a bigger goal of application writing about banking application. I have spoken with the Suchana is product owner. Suchana will do what? Okay, you want the functionality of cash withdrawal. She will take a note out of it, and she writes that in cash withdrawal feature, and she will put it aside. Then she will write another goal of mine, cash deposit features. She will put it aside. Then she will write another feature, customer details. Okay, she will put it aside. So the bigger goal is banking application. She would write that banking application, and in that she will write just small things. Now is when a product owner means Suchana has written all these on high level, at surface level, it becomes business analyst responsibility when he will once again break those high levels of requirement into the granular level, and he will write different further requirements. Say for example, cash withdrawal is a feature. So cash can be withdrawn at the ATM, cash can be withdrawn in the bank, cash can be withdrawn by some POS point, or cash can be taken out from some various terminal of gas station, even if this feature has been enabled by the bank for normal people. Are you able to connect with me and understand what I'm telling right now?
Yes.
So these
Yes.
all small features, you are going to break it down, and further you will enlarge it, and you describe it, and you can even share the different members who are involved in this project to develop. Okay, so it further comes with that integration part, that the POS point has to integrate in a way that it can communicate with the various layer of the communication, which is connected to the database, to the bank, and bank's database and various APIs. Okay, so you need to understand that. For that, technical architects are involved. So when they will understand the requirement, accordingly they will create the interface, they will design the interface, and they will make them enable for the customer as well as the all other stakeholders who are involved in the development of these features. So are you clear so far how business analyst is the key holder, key point, who will explain the requirement in detail? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do is, this time I'm going to resume the resume the screen share, stop the screen share. I am going to pause. To know more it in detail, what you can do is you can explore it further. You can see some YouTube video about this tool, and start visualizing it more in detail and start becoming the master of it. Let me reshare the screen with you for whatever we have discussed. Okay, great question, by the way, Suchana. All right. So yes, so here we see the how the Scrum works. We had discussed that sprint planning. So every sprint planning has the 3 stages. One is to start with input, and another is the output, and the mid process, which is called as sprint planning, where we discuss what to do, how to do, and who will do. Is it clear? That's the main process that gives us the output to get started. All right. So I think this one we also discussed. We had discussed this. Prerna ji was talking last week about it. Okay. So how product owner is involved, how in the sprint planning things gets discussed and sprint goal gets achieved. So there are three stages. The input is called as before sprint. Then the process is called during the sprint, and the output is called as what? Any guesses?
Completion, done.
Completion or post sprint, like before sprint, during sprint, and after sprint. All right. So what I'm going to do is that, Mike, could you please read this for me? The sprint planning during sprint part. Just a second. Just read this one before sprint part.
Before sprint, there is a sprint planning meeting. The length of the sprint planning meeting is proportional to the length of the sprint. A 4-week sprint should be planned in no more than 8 hours. A 1-week sprint should be planned in no more than 2 hours. Right. This meeting determines what the goals are for that sprint. Based on the team velocity, a set of features are pulled from the top of the product backlog to the sprint backlog for the coming sprint.
Thank you so much, Mike, for reading this for me. So this is the clarity everyone should have, even if you are tomorrow getting placed at product owner or your business analyst, you are aware that what exactly happened before the sprint. Before the sprint, it should not exceed 8 hours in any manner. If it is what you call a 4-week long sprint, okay, we have defined our sprint for 4 weeks. Okay, and 4 week means a month's time. Then the sprint planning will go for 8 hours, where all the product backlogs will be there, but we will pick and prioritize couple of them depending upon client's requirement. Okay, and say for example, this is 1 week sprint that will go in proportion for 2 hours, not more than that. So based on the time duration or the velocity of the sprint, that how long the sprint is, this sprint planning hour will change. So is it clear so far how we define the sprint planning meeting hours? Is it clear? Yes. If you are product owner or scrum master or business analyst, you should be well aware with this. I don't find any question over here. Now, this meeting, as Mike has read this, the third option, the meeting determines what the goals for the sprint. So you get the clarity at the end of the sprint. We should have what all the features developed, ready, and ready to be demonstrated in front of the client. Okay. So these set of feature which will be demoed out to the client. Okay, so that become the or that will be pulled from the product backlog, and that will become the part of sprint backlog. Okay, so from the bigger list of the requirements, the high priority importance of the requirement will be picked up to start working with based on client, business owner, and product owner's knowledge that what all the high or top ranking requirement is. These are the first 3 people who will come to know about it. Is it clear now? So how this is assessed, and for assessment, what are the input you should be aware of, being the business analyst, scrum master, or product owner. But even before scrum master, it should be the product owner and business analyst responsibility to have the clarity on the requirements. Okay, so even before scrum master. So now we'll move to sprint planning. Okay, so in this sprint planning, you see the first part was during the sprint, and we are continuing that only. So this bullet point I want someone to read, and this is very interesting. So who can read? Achita, could you read it for me, please?
Sprint planning. Every morning of the sprint, the project team gets together for a short daily stand-up meeting under 15 minutes. This meeting take place at the same time every day and includes everyone on the project. Everyone stands up for the meeting to keep everyone focused and to keep the meeting short. Often, a timer is set so that the meeting does not run long. Each person on the meeting is tasked to answer three simple questions. What did I do yesterday to help achieve the sprint goal? What will I do today to achieve the sprint goal? What, if anything, is impending or blocking progress towards the sprint goal?
Excellent, and thank you so much for reading this out for me, Archita. Yeah, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ask this thing to Archita, you only, okay? And to just see, when you were reading, were you also processing or understanding? So am I right that sometime it may happen, so sometime it is okay to let the sprint planning meeting go uh, up to 20 minutes?
Yes,
But was it mentioned in what you read?
it's not longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah, it should not go beyond 15 minutes. So if it
Yes.
is clear-cut instruction, it should not go beyond 15 minutes. It means it cannot be of 20 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so be everyone clear. So in reality, what exactly happened, let me share you the experience. People are so, especially men, dear gentlemen. So what exactly happened, why I'm pointing or taking this name? So men has got the different attitude, and ladies have got different attitude. So it has been seen, the moment one person says that, hey, I have completed this, but I could not complete that because I had the problem or bottleneck that developer XYZ person had, did not deliver it to the test team, or from the BA team we have not received. And when you name someone that this XYZ person is there, and especially that XYZ person is a gentleman, so he may start feeling defended, because no man likes, this is the normal psychological reason, no man likes to be pointed out for any single thing or any single reason. Even though he is responsible for that, he knows internally he is the responsible, but the moment you will point it out, he will bring the reason, or he will just try to defend. Okay, so you must be very much clear with what you have done, what you are going to do. And if you have not done something, then it is not the person because of whom you have not done, but because of some feature was not available for you. That's the reason the work has not started, or the clarity is not there with you, and you need to discuss with some XYZ person, and then you will be able to resume that. And even though if you have requested for the clarity session with the XYZ person, you will see that I did not receive the response on the request made over the email, okay, about this requirement. You will not tell about this person. Is it very much clear to you? Yeah, any doubt? Yeah, any question you can ask me.
Well, you just blame the men. That's not good.
No, I did not mean to say so, but this is the natural psychology. It has been studied, and that's the reason it becomes the factor that you don't have to blame anyone, but you have to find the fact and you have to present that one. Okay, you don't have to name someone when you become the part of sprint planning meeting, and it could be the various reasons. So one reason I just took it up and shared with you. Okay, so don't take it personally, anything. It's not about the blaming thing, but yeah. So you understand that you talk the fact, not the person. Okay, so that's the one thing. Second thing is that I want to share, yeah, this is very important. The moment we talk about team and we and all, we are very smart people, right? And we talk about leadership, and the moment we talk about the leadership, we always remember, hey, it's not I, it is a we. Okay, but sprint or daily scrum, daily stand-up meeting is totally different. It does not talk about, we. It only talk about I. Don't tell me, the scrum master will tell you, don't tell me what you all have done as a team. Tell me what you have done. So that time you have, you can remember the format. Hey, yesterday I worked on this, and today I'm targeting to finish this in next coming 8 hours. And I have a concern on one requirement, because that requirement is not well understood, because I have found some ambiguity into requirement which is mentioned twice. Okay, what kind of the ambiguity? I'll be discussing that with the business analyst after the, or I'll be discussing with the stakeholder after, or with the client or sponsors after the daily stand-up meeting. So I'm getting into a client meeting after this meeting, and there I'll be discussing that. So now, say for example, the same thing has been talked by developer. Okay, that I'll be discussing with the business analyst. So what happens? Business analyst will find an urge that moment, that he will try to clarify the talk, and he may say, hey, I'll just take few seconds and I'll quickly explain you. That time, you as a scrum master, be very much clear, you are not going to eat out someone else's time, because daily scrum is a time bound activity, is a time box activity. That time you will say that let's finish the status or finish the stand up, and then you discuss it offline. You need to be very much smart and very much attentive at that moment. Okay, is it clear now, scrum masters, future scrum masters? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
the one small game, one small activity for you. All right, so superb. I think we are very much clear on how we get participate in 15 minutes in sprint planning. And if you as a scrum master can manage any stand-up meeting to get it done within 15 minutes, you are an awesome scrum master. You are really progressing well. So let me request Benson. So repeat, not repeat, but read this slide out. So Benson, could you please read this for me?
Sure. Scrum meeting. These three questions allow for complete transparency. Everyone on the team is in the loop, and the answers make people accountable for what they say they will deliver. The results of this meeting are typically shared with the client. This daily communication makes sure that if something is holding up the team, they can get a response quickly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Benson, for reading this out.
Thank you.
And let me tell you that the moment these three questions are answered, Scrum Master comes on the top of the things. The moment he understands, listens to the bottlenecks, he will take a note of it, and he will make sure my team should not suffer with the delay, or should not suffer with the lack of less information. So he makes sure the further meetings, whichever is required to be planned between you or the business analyst, product owner, and the client, that will even be arranged. So all these arrangement factor and making things smoother, quicker, faster, and movable, it is Scrum Master responsibility to facilitate that. So what is the keyword for Scrum Master's activities? One keyword that you heard just now?
Facilitate.
Exactly.
Facilitation.
Facilitation is the keyword. Always remember and get going ahead with this keyword. And the moment you need to describe a Scrum Master, as Suchana has beautifully brought this word, what was the word? Servant leader. In the similar manner, the another keyword, facilitation, goes for Scrum Master. Brilliant. So Who can read this for me? Nadeem, could you please read this for me? All
Scrum
these three.
meeting.
Yeah.
Scrum meeting. This is what I have done since we last met. These are the obstacles I have encountered, and this is what I plan to do today.
Okay. So with my experience, I will thank you so much, Nadeem, for reading this out for me. So I'm going to share you over here. Just shuffle the last two things based on our experience. What exactly happens the moment we bring this point in mid that these are the obstacles I have encountered, people connected with those requirements get an urge to speak in between. Just to avoid that, what you can do that you can talk about this is what I have done since last we met, and this is what I'm planning to do. Okay. And
Mhm.
when we will talk about this factor that there is some obstacle at the end, and the moment other party tries to pick it up, scrum master will get the liberty to cut that talk or continuity of that talk, indicating that there are more people and they also are waiting for their turn to come, so that we can finish it up within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Is it clear, Nadeem, for you as well as for
Yes,
others? Yeah,
yes.
thank you so much for being so much attentive. This is the beautiful picture. So I always keep talking about this. This is the Scrum framework. And here you see the product backlog is represented by the small sticky notes, which I am frequently calling it as what?
Tickets.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for paying attention. So yes, it is called as ticket. Every single ticket will move continuously. You see that out of 9 tickets, we have taken up 6 tickets. In the sprint, we have prioritized that, and we are processing every single ticket, starting from inception to planning to implementation to execution to increment. The moment we talk about the increment, it gets placed, it gets completed and gets shipped towards the client. Okay. And then this is indication of marking it as done. Okay.
Done.
Mhm.
So we will talk about definition of done as well in coming days. So this is how it gets processed. And when we are talking about inception or planning and implementation, every single day we remember that daily scrum happens, and one fine day it gets demoed the moment it gets completed to the client. And at the end, the moment it is about to get shipped, in parallel while shipping is happening, who is responsible for shipping? That is, we call it as a build deployment as well. The shipping activity is also known as a build deployment. So because we are talking about agile, because we are talking about agile, we are software centric people. Whenever in IT we are talking about shipping, we are talking about the software application shipping. So it's not a physical product, this is the applications or softwares, or website or any kind of a module or application or apps. The moment we talk about shipping, it means it graduates from different environment to the live environment where you can access. Okay. And for that there is a DevOps team who is the responsible to take that build. Those build could be the executable files. Okay. The file of the setup that you need to just double click so that it gets installed somewhere. Okay. So it happens for the standalone product, but few product today's are cloud based that you don't require to install, but you need to just enable them up, and these jobs are DevOps team's job. So they will be knowing all these activity, how to do, how to enable it. But your work comes still being business analyst or scrum master or product owner to make the modules or the feature or the requirement readily make available for the customer. So what all when I have just now talked about live environment. So before live environment, now pay a very close attention, I'm getting into the detail of it. So just before live environment, what does come? Let me share something on whiteboard in front of you. So here is the so first comes the live environment. Okay. And just I'm drawing it so that you will remember it. Before live environment, its mirror will made available to all involved, okay, which is also called as pre-live environment, okay. And before pre-live environment, there is something called as so pre-live environment is made available to the customer or to those testers, okay, or to those business users who have the testable data, okay. By applying or using such data, they can test that this mirror environment, the moment we will release or deploy this build to the actual live environment, how it is going to perform, okay. So that will get tested into the pre-live environment. But before pre-live environment, there is something which is called as user acceptance testing environment, where business users come together and they test this, okay. And before UAT, there is another environment where not only the customer but also you as a vendor and your users as a business analyst and testers come together, and customers responsible people like directly business users, or say for example business analyst will get environment and they will test the similar product over here. This is called as SIT, means system integration testing environment. And before that, it just come to the vendors testing environment, okay. But before testing environment, it will be tested by developer from yeah, by developer at the David's, which is called as development environment, where all the developers can have the access. But before it come to the developer environment, developer develops that and tests that in his local, okay, in his local, which is also called as local environment, okay, where developer is only responsible, okay. uh, One developer is responsible, and here he performs the unit testing. Unit testing means what he has developed, he will test under some checklist. So from development environment, it goes to where from local it goes to development environment, from local to it goes to test environment, and from test it goes to the system integration environment, then it goes to user acceptance environment. And remember, SIT will be combined testing by vendor as well as client. UAT is performed only at the client location by the client's business user, and sometimes few vendors, tester and business analyst will be also granted the authority to come to the customer's location and become the part of user acceptance testing by the chosen user business users. And after user acceptance testing, it goes to the pre-live environment, where the responsible business analysts will continue to test, and then it gets live. So is it clear how does it come to the live? uh, Before we see Amazon.com, the Amazon.com undergo these type of rigorous testing. Is it clear?
Yes.
Any doubt till now? I'm expecting some doubts, because your heart should not be satisfied after listening to it. You must come up with some question. If you don't have any question, I think you have digested it well.
So this one is everything is happened in the testing stage, or
So you can call it as a testing stage, because before make things available, it has to be tested. And it nowadays, see, I'll give you some example. Earlier we used to have, the industry used to have a testing team, a dedicated testing team, and they used to test it. But sometime, because everyone is using a system, it becomes the responsibility of everyone. The moment they will see some variation or some changes or some an unexpected error or changes, they also should report. Otherwise, what will happen, if they consider themselves as, hey, I'm business analyst, or hey, I'm developer, I'm not going to report it, ultimately if it will be missed by a tester, it will be missed by the entire team. And in agile it is said that uh, catching the early defects is the smartness. Okay, so the moment developer identifies before he releases his own work at the dev environment, say for example, before releasing from his local to the dev environment, he catches his own mistakes and he will fix that up. He will be freed from getting blamed up about the poor code and poor work he had done. Okay, he will also save his time, he will also save his own image, he will also save his own productivity slow ratio. Okay, and even if it will be caught at the safe example, this is something critical has been missed and that was caught by another developer, and when he saves that, when he reports that, he saves the entire team. Okay, now say for example, even one receptionist is involved in testing the durability of a product. Okay, testing the strength of a product. Okay, and she asked, hey, what do you have to do? You have to come down. He asked all the staff member, or say for example, all office boys have in the industry got a PC, and she will ask, I'm going to open an application and I'll come on a page, and all 40 people, you will see the same page on the PC. Hey, all office boys, you need to just come down and click on this button at the count of 3, 1 2 3, and go. Everyone start loading and sending some information into the PC, into the server. The click moment can trigger the users load in the server, and we have to see whether the things will break or not. Okay, so everyone is involved as a tester, I would say, but the core activity is that finding the bugs at the earliest to make the product movable faster and catching the bug earliest, so that we can deliver one thing that we call it as a workable software. Are we clear now?
Yes.
And that's why from the various environment is undergo. So not necessarily it will be called as testing environment. This is also called as the normal environments only. So if you are tester, if you are studying testing, that time you can call it as a test environments. So generally these three are called as a test environment: normal testing, system integration, user acceptance testing, and the live and the pre-live environment. All right, so I think we have covered really vast topic till now, and I was in the flow continuously trying to get all of you engaged. But before I move further, let me ask you, Benson, Suchana, Archita, Nadeem, and Mike, do you have any specific question till now? No?
No.
So, okay. So let me.
I have one question.
Yes, go ahead.
Just before you in the whiteboard you source on the map, like the things. So
you want me to present the whiteboard, Suchana?
yes, the one you showed
Yeah,
before.
I am not sure whether it is readable,
Yeah,
but if you can
this
read
one.
it better. Yeah. What is the
So
question?
so all those stages are to find the bug.
Yeah, so ultimately when we are developing these things, this is just to, with the intent to find the bug, you can say. Because before
Keep check.
delivering, the core intention is delivery, right? But how the delivery should happen? What kind of product would you require, Suchana? Say for example, now let me give you some example. You are on the Google Play Store, okay, and what would you like to download from Google Play Store, Suchna? Tell me. Or you are into the App Store, if you are using iOS. What application would you like to download?
Telegram.
Okay, you want to download Telegram. The moment you search for the Telegram, it gives you what? It gives you another option as well. Telegram, then it could be WhatsApp, WhatsApp for business, and then Signal, and then Hive chat, and the various other option similar to Telegram. Okay, and you will find Telegram can take the load of more than 7,000 people. Telegram can manage the very vast data load, whereas WhatsApp cannot accommodate more than 256 in a one group. These are the limitations. So you will try to buy which one you want to try, the best one, and you find in these all things Telegram is the best one. You will go for that. Okay, because you loved its quality, you loved its performance, you loved its feature, okay, that attracted it to you, and that's why you chose the Telegram. In the similar manner, if any competitive product is developed for someone, and it is getting error free, more user friendly, of course people will choose that one which is more user friendly and giving more feature in the lesser um, lesser revenue, or lesser amount, or for lesser price, right? So that should be the core for any application, to make that in this way, or make that available for the users in this way. It has to undergo such kind of a rigorous testing. There are, and who all are involved in this? So these are only the men and women, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls are involved in doing such activities. And sometime over here, some tools are involved, automotive tools are involved in testing that. Okay, but at the point of beginning and at the point of end, ultimately human are involved. Okay, and if human are involved, isn't it the chances that things will have some error because human are there?
Yes, that is
Yes. So if that is there, then we can load and bring more people, because people think differently. And the moment you join over here with the various attitude, that you are going to provide the quality. Okay, so the moment this intention will come up, what is going to happen? It will uh, it will enhance the quality of a product. Thereby the customer will start trusting you more as a vendor. Now, because we are discussing this very wonderful and beautiful topic, let me seed something very important to each one of you. Tomorrow, once you get placed into the IT industry and you are working in a banking sector, there are two ways you can contribute to your company. One, you need to just fill the timesheet, complete the 8 hours, and go away. Everyone would like to do that, because people want what? Payout, right? This is one approach. Second, you understand the problem, why you are working in some company, and if you are associated with the banking sector, IT cell of bank, okay, or IT cell of insurance company, you will know the end result tomorrow. If I will have the insurance for the similar company where the product of this insurance company will be sold, or the feature of this bank will be used. Say for example, if I'm going to withdraw as same banks or insurance companies client, and I wish to claim something, and what if some functionality does not work? I will get on loss. Imagine the similar pain one person try to put, okay, and try to settle a claim. He does not get the result. How will he feel? How will he feel? If you can put yourself in his shoes, you will understand that pain. And With this intent, you will now understand what is the power of adding value where you are working, because that may return on you yourself or to your loved ones, because they would be using the same product of same company, of same insurance company. One second, if there is a error in withdrawal, if you are putting 10 or putting 100 and still it is taking 10 grands, okay, it is giving you all the time 10 grand, and it is deducting from your bank 100 grand. So you are at the 90 grands at loss every single time. The kind of pain it will undergo, okay, to resolve these things and getting back what you had lost, the time, energy, and money, and the various call to the company to get it settled. What kind of mental pain or physical pain or different layer of pain you will undergo? Do you want to experience again and again? No. If you don't want to experience yourself, would you want some loved one or some your own family member to undergo the same pain? Definitely not. And the moment you will realize about it, how you are going to start adding the value in your company, I have to perform the best, because the end user even I could be. Does it bring some wow factor or aha moment in your mind and bring a shift in the attitude, the way you will work once you get placed?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone with me so far, or went to sleep?
No,
No,
no.
Okay, thank you so
it,
much.
wa- it was very philosophical, but we are here.
Sorry, it was very what? I just missed.
It was very philosophical. It was
Oh,
more philosophical. Yeah.
okay, thank you. So I'm glad that you all were with me till now. So always when you will get placed, remember, you will be paid not for working, you will be paid for adding value. And if you are listening to the Earl Nightingale every single day, listen what he says, that the moment you have this shift of the attitude of adding value, the money will follow. Okay, so continue to add the value. I think I have shared a lot of information, but I tried to lead you to undergo some experiences as well. So on this point of note, what I want, Prerna ji, would you like to add something over here? I know I was continuous in the flow, so I did not even ask you to, if you can hear
No,
me.
I was listening to the entire conversation, and you had given really superb insights about the entire process, the Jira workflow. Apparently, I had some disconnection in between. That's why I was on mute. But
Okay.
definitely very well, explained. And I am happy to see that most of you have grasped that knowledge, which is very important. And now, as we are learning deeply into this Scrum part, Agile Scrum, sprint planning, sprint process. So here, as we have seen, what is sprint in a Scrum? I'm pretty sure that you all have already heard this word many times from us. I know that we have this sprint, 4 week sprint, 2 week sprints. We keep talking about that. And in a short, in a nutshell, the sprint means it's a time duration, right? But then you change the screen.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So time duration, but then the sprint definitely has more meaning than only stating that it's a time duration. So what exactly? We're still not on the PPT, Gaurav. Yeah, please. So first thing is sprint is of a particular time. That means, as Gaurav earlier shared, that the duration of sprint planning meeting is directly kind of related to the time of the sprint overall time. So the 4 week sprint planning sprint would have an 8 hour sprint meeting like that. So this basically means it's an iteration of a fixed time for a development cycle. Now, what does this mean? This simply means that you have given a particular amount of time duration to work on a particular piece of development. That means if you have to work on any application, website, you will have 4 weeks. Assuming 4 weeks of a sprint, you will have that much time, and in that you have to complete, you have to deliver all these development or whatever the requirement the customer has given you. That is why it is mentioned as time boxed iteration. Okay, time box means we have particular time, and iteration means we keep having this sprint multiple times, right? So what we do, if we have a project of say 6 weeks, okay, sorry, 6 months, we kind of break that project into six sprints of each sprint of 4 weeks, assumingly 1 month each sprint, right? 4 weeks is like, more or it's 1 week, 1 month. So 1 month of each sprint. So it is an iteration, you understand iteration, right? It's like a loop. Every sprint, every month, you're working on some of the other, you remember the things like we studied last time, product backlog, requirements, remember?
Yes.
Guys, but I hope you have that in mind. Can anybody just give me a one liner about what is a product backlog? Yes, anybody? Just a one liner.
The
Mm-hmm.
product backlog is the
Yes, yes.
requirements.
Right, right.
We prioritize the requirements.
Yes, product backlog is kind of like the, I would say, stack of requirement which is maintained by the product owner. So,
And the
so
business
that
analyst.
is our guide to take the requirements from, right? It's like a, I would say, it's like a big repository. So that is kind of, that gives us the work items to work on. So that is why it is mentioned time boxed iteration of a development cycle. Every month you're working, you're developing something, and that is like iterative. So for now in this sprint of 4 weeks, development team has finished say line items from 1 to 10. Next sprint they'll take 11 to 15, 11 to 20, like that. So I'm just trying to explain you the meaning why it is mentioned like that. So yes, time boxed iteration of a development cycle. And see, these words, they have so much value. So when you talk like this in an interview with anybody, who is pertaining to the industry of your, discussing with some of the seniors, that actually gives a lot of weightage to what you're saying, and that implicitly explains that okay, you know the concepts, you know what you're talking about, you know. So that's why most of the slides what we have, those are your keywords or those are your go-to notes. In future also, when you want to prepare for interview, or even if you want to brush up on your knowledge, please read and revisit these videos and these ppts, because these are very helpful. Now second is quite simple to understand, because we have already discussed it a lot. Broken project into small and consistent time interval, right? So these all points are more or less interconnected. So it
Mhm.
simply means, you know, uh, considering the earlier example of a project of 6 months. So sprint is a project that is broken. Then we have a big project that is broken into small. That means 4 week sprint, assumingly, and consistent time interval. So here, if we, in the sprint planning meeting, in a kickoff meeting earlier, we decide that okay, our sprint will be of 4 weeks. So for the entire duration of the project, every sprint would be of 4 weeks. Okay, so this is what it means when we say broken project into small and consistent time interval. Okay, so you break down your project into small sprints and you work on that. Am I good? Am I good on this? Like anybody has any doubts about these 2 points?
No.
No,
No.
it's
Yes, yeah,
No.
I know, because after learning so much in, we've already talked about these things, but if you see the what I would say, the way they are framed is really nice. Broken project into small and consistent time travel. So time interval. Sorry. So this really sounds quite, what I would say, heavy as well as with proper usage of words relating to our topic. Okay. So third is as short as few days and as long as 4 weeks. Okay. So as we already mentioned that a sprint can be of 7 days as well, and it can be of 2 weeks or it can be of 4 weeks. So that's what it's sharing the time interval. It can be of a few days, like starting from a week to the 4 weeks sprint. So this simply means the time duration that we can select for a particular sprint. That's this point. And can call a sprint goal a project in itself due to start and finish record it gives. Yes. So if you remember in the sprint planning discussion, we mentioned that every sprint has its goal, right? If you
Yeah.
remember, we studied
Yeah.
about sprint goal. Yeah, sprint goal
Yes.
means if a customer wants to have a particular a particular, I would say, requirement to be done, like if you have a website like Amazon shopping, any e-commerce website like Amazon or Flipkart in India we have. So like that, for that, if customer wanted to have the home page, how it looks, and they wanted to that I should be able to log in into the website, if this functionality was to be developed. So for this sprint, our goal was to work on this functionality. So uh, you know uh, work on the or create the home page means, when we write amazon.com, what the page gets loaded on your machine, laptop, computers, or your phone screen, that is your home page. So develop the home page and also create the login. So a customer will put in their user ID and their password, and they'll be able to log in. So this is what can be your sprint goal for that particular sprint. Okay. So it can be anything. I'm just giving you some easy examples from understanding point of view. It can be other functionality as well, but that particular functionality which customer has asked for is your goal for the sprint. Okay. So anybody has any doubts in this? I know this sounds easy and we've already learned, but still, if you want any further explanation, I'll be glad to share. If you don't have any doubts, we can definitely move to the next screen. Yes,
Yeah,
Gaurav, you want to add
Yeah.
something here, please?
No, no, I'm very much good with this. Yeah, Suchna or Archita has something.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
please.
in slide 40, can you go to the slide 40?
40. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, Scrum sprint. So this one was not like it's supposed to be this class, but can you please explain what is this?
Okay. So, do you want me to take this, Prerna?
Yeah, it's more or less similar to what I was saying. I can continue if you wish to.
Okay,
Yes.
please.
So yes, Uchana, if you see, Scrum sprint is similarly what we are talking about. What we talked about these particular bullet points, it's given in the explanation. See, can you please read out the first point so you'll also understand what it is mentioned, please,
Okay. Yeah.
Suchana? Yeah.
Scrum sprint is a repeatable fixed time box during which a done product of the highest possible value is created. Sprint lies at the core of the sprint agile methodology and can be thought of as an event which wraps all other Scrum events like daily Scrums, Scrum review, and sprint retrospective. Sprint is one time boxed iteration of a continuous development cycle. Within a sprint, planned amount of work has to be completed by the team and made ready for review. Scrum projects are broken down into small and consistent time interval referred to as sprints. They can be as short as a few days and generally are no longer than 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, yes, it's same thing. Okay.
Yes, perfect. So remember, so you must have realized when you read this, this is the elaborative version of what we just learned. So it simply states that sprint is like a repeatable fixed time box. So repeatable means because we have multiple sprints, and time box means because we have this fixed amount of time per se, 4 weeks for each sprint. And then which is the done product of the highest possible value is created. This simply means we have to deliver what the customer had asked for in this particular sprint. Okay. And also, sprint lies at the core of sprint agile methodology and can be thought of an event which wraps all the scrum events. So it simply means every sprint includes all the sprint events like daily scrum meetings, scrum reviews, and sprint retrospective at the end. This simply kind of explains what we have already studied just now. That means every individual scrum, like every 4 week scrum, is kind of like an entire development cycle itself. It has its sprint planning, it has daily sprint, sprint scrum meetings, it has even their reviews with the customer, and ultimately a sprint retrospective at the end, like, to learn or to actually have this time wherein we can think and understand what we worked on, what we could have done better, where we missed or where we really achieved our goals. So yes, a sprint itself gives you all these experiences and clarity with respect to what work we are doing for the customer. And again, if you see the second paragraph, it continuously similarly it has information wherein it mentioned that we have to complete some amount of work that is being I would say promised, or I would say that was committed to the customer, that yes, we will work on this development side, we will work on this application, will complete these many requirements. So all that is being developed. And yes, it's again, see, if you can see now, broken down into small and consistent time intervals. This has been repeating quite a lot because this is what is the crux of this sprint word and understanding. So this is small and consistent time interval. So if someone just asks you, hey, what do you understand by the by sprint, in agile, you can just simply say is basically breaking down your project into small and consistent time intervals, and even when I just plainly said, the kind of weightage our understanding shows, that simply means you know what you're talking about and you have already worked on it or you have experience in it. So instead of just going by bookish definition, when you use such words which share the actual understanding and actual meaning, it is really good, for us. Even when we talk like this in the interviews, interview questions, we know that the interviewer will definitely know that you have the knowledge, you have the understanding. Okay. So yes, thank you, Suchina, for highlighting this, but this was the same thing what we just discussed. Okay. Yes, Gaurav, we can move to the next slide where we were at the end.
Okay, so we have come to the end. So what I'll do, I'll just transition you something towards something. So just give me a second, and for that transition, I want to bring some more slides towards you. Yeah. So what we are going to learn next, that I'm going to tell you. So far everyone was involved, I believe so. So what we had learned that okay, about this sprint review with high quality and definition of done and product backlog management. This is the very crucial topic we are going to learn tomorrow, or next day. And so far we have completed scrum planning team, and scrum sprint and scrum meeting. So the next coming days, things will be dedicated towards sprint review with high quality definition of done and product management, product back management. This topic, excuse me, this topic is going to be very, very intense. We will try to make it more interactive. Start triggering your visualizing a part of the brain more activated, that is your right brain. To do so, what you are requested to do is that listen to the audio which I have given to you. That is number one. Number two, complete the golden quadrant of the learning, that is starting with the declaration. Just now learning has happened, and if you find time, you can go back and draw that. And once you will draw that, speak what you have drawn. And once you have spoken about it, just while speaking, record it. Okay, and then publish it, maybe not tomorrow, but on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay, any of the day. But remember, every single day you are working, because if you are today joining on Friday, Saturday you will be publishing the recording. Sunday you can Sunday night again you will join us. On Monday we will publish the another video. Tuesday you will be attending the RRP session. Wednesday you can just take a break in between, and on Thursday again you complete the RRP session. Again on Friday we meet up. Okay, so always remember to be in touch and be the part of the hustle. Continuously to be in touch of your HR. Continuously you are also optimizing your LinkedIn profile, working on your resume with Devji. So this is how continuously you are working and chasing to our one core goal, where every single thing what you are doing over here is contributing. All right, so in case you don't have any question, I think we are done with today's learning. And I want to ask Mehul, what do you feel like saying after today's learning with the clarity what I believe you have achieved today in
Yeah,
today's
I
session?
think you and Prerna ji have covered this everything about the sprint topics in details and very well explained. So I think once we do look at this recording again one more time, once it's ready, I think it'll be very, very easy to understand the whole thing. And I don't think it can ever disappear from our brains.
Wonderful, brilliant. I really loved it. Thank you so much, Mike. So could you please
Thank you, Mehul. Rightly said.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, could you please call out someone's name on the screen you see?
Nadeem?
Nadeem, what do you feel like saying, Nadeem?
Me?
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah, Nadeem, what do you feel like saying? Means after today's learning, if you were involved in the learning, what do you feel like saying about today's learning?
Uh, Today's learning was, as I suggested earlier, was a lot more loaded with information,
Mm-hmm.
and see how I can digest it and come up with the
Okay.
videos in the next week.
Okay. So you will have to repeat the recording again, Nadeem, because
Yes.
somewhere what I feel that you got disconnected due to some reason in between.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nadeem, for being honest and sharing that with me. Call out someone's name on the screen.
Archita.
Archita. Archita, what do you feel like saying? Yes, Archita.
Yes, today's there is lots of information.
Mm-hmm.
So, but same thing, I need to listen one more time. And yes,
Yeah, Archita, but did you find yourself participating more and engaging more, visualizing the things more in
yes,
detail?
yes, yes.
Okay.
But there is lots of information, so I think I need to listen one more time.
Repeat
One
again.
more,
Yeah.
yes, repeat it again, and yes, get back things again, right?
Thank you so much. And let me tell each one of you, if you'll repeat anything what you have learned now more twice, that will sink in deep inside your brain. Okay, and
Yes.
build a new dendrite connection stronger inside your brain. All right, Archita, call out someone's name on the screen.
Sushana?
Sushana. So yeah, Sushana, so what do you feel like saying?
Yeah, lots of information and now I'm getting more interesting, like interested about the business analyst role, and so I want to know more about how practically a business analyst is involved, and a scrum master, how they are doing like their role. I want to know more about that, and so I can visualize more how the things are going on in a project, how they are doing it. So now it is for me it seems very interesting. So thanks to you and Prerna ji for making our class so interesting.
Thank you so much, Suchana. I'm really glad that even though there is a information load, lot of information, it is building the curiosity in you. So I'm really glad about it. So thank you so
Yes,
much
yes,
for
thank
sharing
you.
this.
And
Yeah.
and I also like to highlight, I'm really liking this part where everybody wants to know that what role BA as in a business analyst plays. So yes, we will come to that quite in
Yes.
next sessions, but definitely the curiosity and interest in knowing that is definitely a very positive point for us to look forward to. So thank you so much, Suchna, and we will surely go to the BA part and will explain all your queries relating to that. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
Suchana. Thank you so much, Suchana. And call out someone's name on the screen you see.
Benson.
Benson. Benson, what do you feel like saying, sir?
I just want to thank both of you all because every time you all come on and you'll explain it in detail with examples broken down into basics, which helps us in processing it right away during the meeting, during the Zoom call. So hats off, and I just love what we're doing at this point of time.
Awesome, brilliant. I'm really glad that it is uh,
Thank you.
helping you to make it easy. Thank you so much, Benson. Please call out someone's name on the screen you see.
I think we're
Yeah,
done. I mean, just to
yes.
back to you all.
Okay, Prerna, what do you feel like saying? Prerna
So
ji.
I would like to say that I'm very happy with the kind of feedback we're having with this session. First of all, a wonderful session, Gaurav. You really, taken a lot of, in today's session with Jira, with understanding, and now towards the end also we've explained the Scrum part, and I'm pretty sure, though right now you guys might be feeling a little overload because it's all new, but as we go in the further sessions, let this information sink in. The more you talk about it, I'll really encourage you all to have your own, WhatsApp group and share your understanding. Talk to each other over calls or over voice notes, or when you share videos, because all these interaction really helps. It is like your small group. When we have used to have GDPI group discussions and personal interviews kind of thing. So you as a team can definitely help each other. Definitely we are there for sure. We keep reviewing and responding over your efforts on the group, but even you all as a team could interact with each other more, talk about the topics, your understandings. I'll really encourage that, because earlier sessions also we've done that and we had really tremendous results. People, everybody was so confident, and when we gave projects, they all could work on that quite smoothly. So yes, thank you so much for all of your efforts. But yes, we have a long way to go, and we will be there with you at every step, and we will get there. Thank you so much. Over to you, Gaurav. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prerna ji. Yeah, Mike, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add something. Like every time I listen to this presentations, I always think in my mind about, for example, uh, iPhone that I use, for
Mhm.
day-to-day uh, communication. And every time, every few weeks, it says new update is available,
Mhm.
15.3, 15.4, whatever the software version they're coming out with, and it tells you what bug about bug fixing, what kind of bugs they're fixing it in this new app, new software update. It tells you in details before you download that update. also what new features they've added. So these things really helps me understand this whole process, that what we are talking about, especially that how this development team for Apple must be working towards creating this kind of software updates.
Wow. Thank you so
Wow,
much.
Mike. Wow, you actually kind of, I would say mirrored what we're learning to the actual real life scenario. So this is what actually happens
Yeah,
at
because
the
every time I see
update.
that
Yes.
every like whatever new features come on, and it tells you also what new features they've added, what kind of bug fixing they fixed.
So now you
Uh,
know what was their backlog, what was their product backlog for that particular
yes,
sprint.
yes, 100%.
Yes,
Yes, right. It's
absolutely.
very easy to understand that
Mm-hmm.
way, and also like once you download the update, then you do see the new features taking
Yes,
place.
yes,
You know,
which were earlier not there or might not be working well.
right, right. And so it
So
does, and everything
yes.
has been done for some kind of an improvement.
Absolutely. And it's just for the scenario purpose. How would you feel if you were part of that team and delivering it to your
Right?
customer?
Yeah.
Right
Look
now,
at
you are the customer, but tomorrow
yes,
you'll be
yes.
working in that team. You know the kind of happiness or the satisfaction we as a customer get with all these simple things like phone updates or getting a new website or adding
Right,
adding
right,
new features in any applications nowadays. In all this WhatsApp and thing, you have the payment option, so many new things coming up. So this is not only the learning from development part of it, it's actually adding value to people, adding value to the customer's life. It really
right.
enriches. So I don't know why many people think it is too technical. I find it so satisfying and so and having a spiritual and happiness quotient to it, because ultimately you're catering to a variety of people and you're making their life easy. Right
Right.
now we just can't
That's
imagine
true.
things about any automation. Going back 20, 30 years, how our life was so different. Now imagine I'm sitting in one part of India, you guys are in variety of part from US, and Gaurav is from Pune right now. This is, we are here because of technology, so we have to be thankful and happy, and when we part of this development, it's a blessing. For me, I understand it's a blessing. That's why we're here to share that. And when you be actively into that situation, when you talk to the client, you deliver, and when you might see your own updates, aapke project ke updates in future, trust me, the feeling is awesome. That's what I wanted to highlight. Thank you so much, Mehul, for
Yeah.
sharing this. I was
And
really
also
glad
just
that you
one
could.
last thing very quickly, like even in
Uh-huh.
in WhatsApp, if someone reads a message, you can see
Yeah,
who
the
read
blue
the
tick.
message. Yeah, with
Yeah.
the
Yes,
two
yes.
blue ticks, and if one has
Yes,
not read
yes.
it, then it's a one tick. I mean,
Yes, yes.
these things
Delivered and read and yes, last
so
seen and stuff.
so
Yes.
very minutely worked on.
Definitely. Yes, yes,
So I
absolutely.
have a question. It's like in every project, everything, there will be a
Take it for
business
it.
analyst. The business analyst are there.
I'll tell you, any project, you know, has to have business analyst. So business analyst is like the core team. And I just want you to hold your horses for now, because we are going to once we finish the agile part, we will be going to the business analyst part, and then you'll understand
More in detail.
what is a business analyst, what's role, responsibilities, and their contribution is. So that is why we have this track as agile and BA Scrum, because as a business analyst, it's a very important role, and as well as it's quite easy right now. The way you guys are moving into this course, I am myself confident that you'll be understand the functionality and the role quite well. So give some time right now, focus into this agile and learn this. Like, and I'm really happy to see how Mehul could correspond and coordinate the real life updates with these topics or with this what we are discussing in the sessions. So give yourself some time, and for Nadeem and everybody, please do revisit the videos, because when we
Yes.
again listen to the videos, we learn a lot. In the session you might be occupied with other things, you're listening, you're looking at PPTs, but when you're listening to videos, plug your earphones, have that 1.5 hour or 2 hours of your own me time, and listen, and you're good to go. Trust me, you're good to go. Next session you'll come in, you might give us some more insights while discussion. Okay, so this
Yes.
is my humble request in every session. Please rewatch the videos, not only our videos. We highly encourage you to watch other trainers' videos on the same topic, because knowledge, however you accumulate, is really best for you. So please revisit the videos. And yes, Gaurav, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prerna ji, and thank you so much, Mike, for paying so much close attention so that you could relate it and share this wonderful example with us. So I just wanted to share with each one of you that continue to share your the summary, and the moment you will share the summary, it will give us the confidence how much you are placement ready. So even if Nirupma or who else, Nikhil, you guys are not showing up due to some reason, if you will listen to the recording and come up with the summary what you have understood after going through the recording, that will give us the confidence that if you are placement ready, or what all area in which we require you to work, or we require upon you to work. So that gives us also confidence that you are getting ready, or how much work has to go into the background. So with this note, I also want you to start relating, like Mike is paying attention and able to relate the moment you will do it. And I also want to appreciate each one of you, especially Suchana and Archita, the way you are cheering other fellow members like Nadeem, Benson, or Mike, after they share their summary. It is really giving that how much heart-centered people you are, and we really encourage every one of you to being the heart center, so that you can cheer each other up, and accordingly we can continue to grow towards the learning, towards getting place. So thank you so much. With this information, we will again connect back on Sunday night to learn something more in detail. Something intensive is going to come. Be ready for that. Thank you so much, and good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.